Alrighty, guys. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Means a lot. This is a very late live today. Very, very late live. Probably one of the latest lives I've ever had. Up there. Maybe even the latest. Okay, just gotta tighten my arm for the microphone here, and then we're gonna be ready. Alright, here we go. Alright, we are officially live on the channel. Thanks for tuning into the stream, everybody. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Making sure we've got everything set up here. I'm going real quick. I'm just got to update everybody and make sure we're live. Because I do not think we're going to get a lot of viewers in today's live stream. Just because it's such a late stream. But make sure to tune in. My channel. Alright, I'm just getting everything ready here real quick. So sorry about that, guys. We're just really getting everything ready, and then we will be completely ready for the stream, everybody. I've just got to test some things first, and then we're going to be live and ready. Alrighty, guys. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. We're getting this live stream ready. Sorry, guys. We're just one more minute here, and then we're gonna be officially fully ready. Alrighty, guys. Thanks to everyone who's gonna be tuning into the stream today. We are officially live and ready. I've just one last thing real quick. Then we're gonna be 100% ready. Thanks to all the new subscribers lately. We're up to 211 subscribers. It is awesome. Alrighty, guys. We are ready here on the channel. So the first thing we're going to be talking about today is this tornado warning that we actually took effect. Today has not been the day we really expected it to be. There's a huge enhanced moderate risks from Sioux Falls all over to Mason City and Fort Dodge and Waverly. They're still showing a significant risk for wind, but it didn't end up being that DERECHO potential we originally thought it could be. But hey, it is what it is. We've seen some crazy tornadoes today. Due to a tornado warning in effect across all Alcester, over to Beresford and Canton areas in Davis. So if you're on this region, make sure to take shelter. There are some isolated areas of rotation within this kind of embedded storm within this line of just MCS type of thing is what I'd call it here. And some definite strong winds occurring near Sioux Falls here. I would say we've got some 70 miles an hour winds occurring here near Sioux Falls as the storm rolls through the region. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Alrighty. So we now got some big storms rolling through Sioux Falls, Harrisburg, Brandon area. So if you're in Sioux Falls, Harrisburg, and Brandon, we've got some really, really strong winds rolling through currently, especially over here with this big swath of honestly 70, 75 miles an hour winds with this downburst of wind heading towards Harrisburg. So really, really be indoors here as we've got a swath of 50 to 60, maybe even 65 miles an hour winds rolling through and spots of 70 to nearly 80 miles an hour winds across this line. And then some more severe storms here rolling through Lamar's, Sioux Center, Rock Valley, and Hawarden areas in the border of Iowa now. So definitely some dangerous storms that are rolling through the region here currently. Now, we've got a few special weather statements here. Some storms are actually rolling through Minneapolis. We've got a little bit of a severe thunderstorm watch here rolling through Minneapolis currently, Twin Cities, and these are just some strong storms is what I say. They're really close to being severe, but they're expected with 50 to 55 miles an hour winds within most of this line of storms. Hello, Western Ohio weather. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Good evening to you too. Hello. Yeah, this is a very late stream today. I was busy and could not go live earlier today. I really wish I could. Next time I will set this up a lot earlier. I probably won't be live for too long today, but we're live right now. So I try to make sure I'm like, I'm not going live in a moderate risk of severe weather today. Like, why would I do that? You know? All right. Hello, Sydney. Thanks for tuning into the stream. We currently have got some big storms here now rolling through Hutchinson, Hector, Redwood Falls here. These are just special weather statement for some strong storms rolling through the region. I do think this is really close to being severe warned, especially with these storms over here too. The storm in Monticello should be severe warned in my opinion, but it's not. I see why they do. Oh yeah, God, it's your Evan. Sorry, I'm just so used to saying that. We actually have a severe thunderstorm warning completely out of the main storms, but here across Roundup areas is a severe thunderstorm warning with 1 inch hail and 60 miles an hour wind that's currently rolling through. This is just going to bring some isolated hail with this. Nothing too significant, but it is there for those regions. I'm doing great. How about you? Thanks for tuning in the stream. But it is pretty late, so I don't know how long I'm going to be live for today. But we've got a lot of viewers for this late in the evening. Wow. I was thinking, hey, we're gonna get like 2 viewers today or something. Tonight at 9 p.m. at night, and actually it's 10 p.m. for people in the east, but in this general vicinity, it's 9 p.m. in the area that's getting hit by storms. Oh, thank you, Redburn. Thanks for tuning in the stream. Yeah, 200 subs. Yep, it's great. Oh, geez. Yeah, you can 100% leave if you want. I don't mind if something bad happened. Then yeah, that's not good. Hope he's fine. Said your weather friend I was talking to him on Discord, and he said that the system was a bust. Well, I wouldn't say it's completely a bust, but if we look at this, so there's a moderate risk of severe storms. Yeah, it underperformed because, see, what happened was a cluster of storms developed in central South Dakota, but it didn't congeal into a line which could eventually become a derecho later on. But it produced some tornadoes. So realistically, the tornadoes way overperformed. We had some big time tornado activity here, but the winds completely underperformed. We didn't see any crazy winds. The event's not done yet. We're still gonna have these storms continuing for a long time. But right now, I wouldn't say bust. I'd just say it underperformed from what it was supposed to be. But there was still so much uncertainties with this event, and I really didn't think it was supposed to be a derecho, in my opinion. The tornado stack spike was insane. Yeah, I think that's more verified as an enhanced risk, but it was still pretty significant across these areas. So, yeah. But now we got so we still have the storm warning here in effect for Beresford, Alchester, Hudson areas, and Canton here across this tornado warning that is currently in effect. We're staying up till 4 a.m. for weather coverage. Wow, that is dedication right there, man. I'm definitely not doing that, but wow. His dedication towards the weather. We've got some strong winds currently rolling through Harrisburg and north of Beresford areas and portions of the border of South Dakota and Iowa, and an area of rotation right there. Look, this is our little area of rotation. It's pretty strong, actually. No tornado with it, but it's definitely associated with the little kink notch within this tornado warning that's currently rolling through. So definitely take shelter if you're on the town of Hudson and Alchester regions currently. But besides this, we've got some really strong winds rolling through with this storm. Oh yeah, I mean, that's good. Yeah, on enough breaks, that's definitely good. If I were you, I wouldn't stay up till 4 in the morning. Get some sleep, because then you'll be really tired in the morning. But hey, you do you, whatever. Whatever. It's alright. I mean, it's dedication, man. I've done something like that before. Waiting for an SBC outlook when my area is in like a huge event for storms or something. Not 4 in the morning, but pretty late to try to watch the models and see what's gonna happen. You're waiting for the call. You're fine. You got a question? Yeah, feel free to ask. Oh, that's not good, Sandy. Hope he's okay. Big storms currently rolling through Larchwood, Harrisburg, Inwood, Rock Rapids, and Sioux Falls, and Brandon. Currently, we've got some strong winds with us. To be honest, I do not think there's gonna be PDS be issued. I think these are just. I mean, right now we've got a high end severe thunderstorm watch, but no, definitely not a PDS. If it happens, then I'm wrong, but I don't think this will event up to a PDS. I mean, it's really possible, but I really do not think. But he's gonna get tornadoes. Yeah, I can. I wanna actually look at the models for that real quick. One sec. Not this one. We can do this one, I guess. This is my video recording aspect right here. So let's take a look at Dakotas. No. How can we do this here? I'm trying to figure out which. Oh, it was this one, North Central. I think. Alright, it's kind of got it. So just look at the bottom left there. Do not look anywhere else. But this is what they predict. So this line really congeals there and moves kind of towards Des Moines late tonight, like 2 in the morning, probably to Des Moines. It's not looking like insane. There's so much instability, like 5,000 stability, but since the line will probably start decaying because it's going to be at night, but still could definitely be significant. I do think we're gonna probably see an increase in the strength of winds over time here. No, I don't think this will end up being a derecho. It's not lasted long enough for a derecho. I just think this is going to lead to an MCS with more strong winds into the future as this rolls through the region with this. Oh. Alright, now I gotta find the clip again. Sorry about all the noises, guys. Nope, not this one either. Even though I could use this. I bet some people would generally think like, oh, they would like this one better for my streams. It's just really basic and kind of doesn't really cover everyone's screen. I don't know. Yeah. But it's kind of just more basic and I don't know, cleaner looking, but streamers, everyone puts crazy stuff on their streams. Oh. There we go. Nope. Here we go. This one's it. There we go. Alrighty. We're back. I just had to show the whole models real quick. You said, speaking of 200 subscribers earlier, you reach... Oh, wow. Great. Awesome. 202. That's awesome. Yeah, that is great. Glad you got 200 subs there, Evan. The storms will reach Des Moines. I do not think there'll be tornadoes there. It's possible, but it's gonna be decaying. That's pretty low. It's possible, but I think it's more low. And the wind probabilities are just it's gonna weaken by the time it reaches there. But this line is a lot further south than it was originally expected, so I do think they'll get a more upgrade to enhance maybe later on. So yeah, I don't know. I'd say they're gonna get they could get some pretty big wins. Alright, for this line, we've got some strong winds here moving towards Hawarden, Sioux Center, Lamar's, and Ireton areas across this line of storms over here. This is now updated as a destructive severe warning. This is our winds right here. It doesn't look insanely looking, but this is our winds. This is now a destructive warning here for severe weather here. This is an 80 miles an hour wind destructive warning as 8:52 p.m. by the public, a gust of 87 miles an hour was reported. That should just be considered as 90 miles an hour winds at this point because that's rounded up to 90. That rounds up to 90, but I guess they'll just consider 80. There should be like a way they can do like 85 or something. But yeah. This is a really destructive storm rolling through here, so Beresford to Worthing, South Dakota, really be safe here. Same thing with Hawarden and Sioux Center areas, as we've got just some extremely strong winds rolling through. And I know that public was real because this should be upgraded to 90 miles an hour, man. These winds are bonkers. At least what the velocity is reporting, that these are some extremely strong winds rolling through. I don't know if that's fully accurate, but very strong winds and tornadic rotation at the very top of this right here. We've got some big tornadic rotation. Let's look at this. So this is our rotation right here. It's not insanely rotating, but it's pretty tight. And you see that little CC speckle. Yeah, that could be a tornado. But if you look at everything else over here, it's just looking like clutter to me. I don't think it's a tornado. The next scan, we'll look at the next scan. If it expands and it's 100% a tornado. Brandon Kopic's right on this. And the winds are looking crazy. But then the warning to the north also just got upgraded to a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for 80 miles an hour winds in Canton, Harrisburg, and Larchwood, in Brandon and Luverne areas, as the southern part of this storm is getting absurd amount of wind. With this could be upgraded to 90 miles an hour, 100%. This is a huge MCS rolling through these areas currently, which is just absolutely bringing some really strong winds here. Wow, we're already up to 38 views in only 19 minutes. Awesome, guys. Thanks to everyone who's tuning into my stream currently. And we're up to 211 subs on the channel. Pretty great. This morning now in effect here for Waconia, Hutchinson, all the way over to Norwood, Young America, Glencoe, and Winstead areas. If you're in these regions, you need to be weatherwares. We do currently have a severe thunderstorm warning for 60 miles an hour winds right now rolling through the region. Stay safe. And then a special weather statement here up north for 50 to 55 miles an hour winds in Coon Rapids, Buffalo, Elk River, as this line of storms is rolling through Minneapolis currently in the Twin Cities. I'm going to turn on y'all mode real quick. Oh, wow. Y'all mode is definitely in action here. Y'all mode is definitely in action. So yeah, I honestly prefer the look of mine a little better. I think this one's a tad bit cleaner, but I like my look a little better for some reason. But we do have this severe thunderstorm warning still rolling through, and guys, I hope you guys will understand this, but we've got y'all watches here rolling through the area. This is a y'all watch, guys. It's created by Andy Hill, which is a worker for Ryan Hall, y'all, and they basically create this just to make a little idea for where what these storms could do, and if there could be a tornado before the tornado warning gets issued. Sorry, I cannot talk. But I do think this is even higher confidence. This should definitely be tornado warned. I don't know why it's not. But Rock Valley, Sioux Center, I would just get to your tornado safe spot, as we've got multiple areas of rotation rolling through. And even though the y'all confidence is low on this is definitely, I agree, and I would create a polygon like this. So Sioux Center, Hull, Rock Valley, seriously, I'd just take shelter at this point if I were you, as these storms look pretty dang significant, and they've definitely got rotating. They've got rotation on it, and behind it is insane winds. So no matter what, not just are you in some isolated tornado potential, but we've got 90 miles an hour winds rolling through. Like Hudson's getting impacted this by now. Absurd amount of wind is rolling through Canton, Fairview, Hudson, Beloit with this absolutely monster storm. Yeah, that's not good, Cindy. Sorry about that. Hope he calls you soon. Yeah. And then more big storms here with the severe thunderstorm warning rolling through with 60 miles an hour winds here towards Yankton, Honda, Centerville, and Viborg areas with 60 miles an hour winds as this rolls through that region. Yeah, there's only some 60 miles an hour winds. Somehow this little storm just developed right behind the actual MCS, so it'll probably decay by the time it weakens that, and it might aid to more thunderstorm development. I think this little MCS is going to expand a little more overall the further down it gets, but definitely watching this. So I do think these winds are pretty significant right now and will probably expand in the future. Alright, 1 second, guys. 1 quick second. Alright. Because of tornado weather, I wouldn't think that there's no storms impacting Des Moines currently. These storms are very, very far away. Yeah, they could impact Des Moines in the future, but they're definitely not very close to Des Moines currently. But I wouldn't think that would be reason, but who knows. Lamar's, Hawarden, Orange City, Sioux Center, Rock Valley, we've got really destructive 80 to 90 miles an hour winds rolling through with this absurd windstorm currently. I would honestly take shelter for tornado weather in Rock Valley, Perkins, Hull, Carmel, Sioux Center, and Middleburg areas, as we do have areas of rotation, y'all watches in effect. But look, we've got a few kinks in this line, and these things could definitely produce tornadoes, so I think they should be expanding this tornado warning 100%. Well, I just realized my radar isn't even up. Background. No one even told me that. 2 destructive warnings over here. Alright, there we go. Alright, I'm back. We've now got a new extension of the severe thunderstorm warning, so areas including Cherokee, Lamar's, Orange City, Sheldon, Sibley, and Sioux Center areas are now under a extremely, so 80 miles an hour winds, radar indicated, and an extremely dangerous situation tag. Look, this is an extremely dangerous situation with tornado-like wind speeds expected. Very, very dangerous storms out here. Mobile homes and high-profile vehicles are especially susceptible to winds of this magnitude and may be overturned, especially like high-profile vehicles like a semi-truck that's driving on the highway or something could easily be overturned by this. And if you're in a mobile home, really, that's not good. These storms have the potential to cause serious injury and significant property damage. This is an extremely dangerous situation. EDS, very rarely issued here. Dangerous storms, prepare immediately for large destructive or significant winds here. Definitely some dangerous situation here. 80 miles an hour wind gusts with this. Wow. Sioux Center, Sheldon, Sutherland, Marcus, Cherokee, Lamar's, and Sibley areas in extreme northwestern Iowa. We've now got a significant line of storms rolling through. And look at this hook echo, man. If they don't issue, they should just, for the heck of it, there's not too much rotation, but they should just issue a tornado warning, because with these type of lines, they can produce spin-up tornadoes out of nowhere. So I'm just saying, as an idea, they should, maybe even for these storms out here in Oliver areas. But yeah. Definitely some crazy storms rolling through with destructive winds currently. Guys, have any questions? Feel free to ask, because I will answer. So Des Moines, honestly, these storms are out in northwestern Iowa, in portions of southeastern South Dakota. They're super far from Des Moines still. If once the storm hits Des Moines, I do think that these storms will probably reach Des Moines really, really late. I do think the storms could reach Des Moines. They will probably be decaying by the time and weakening, but they could. Now, the tornado aspect, I think that's pretty low in Des Moines. I'd say it's possible, but pretty unlikely, as there's really, the SBC has no tornado potential at all for Des Moines. I think there's a possibility, but it's pretty low. In my opinion, it's kind of isolated, but the main threat will just be wind damage, and these storms will roll through 2 a.m., maybe even 3 a.m. for some areas in Des Moines. So they won't be here for 4, maybe even 5 hours from now is when these storms will probably reach Des Moines areas here. So pretty far from now is by the time these storms will reach the Des Moines region. So yeah. So the storms are pretty far. Still, not much to be worried about currently. All right, we've got some big storms here rolling through Carmel, Sioux Center, Sheldon. We have a new yaw watch with confidence low being here, but there is an isolated area of rotation, nothing too significant. That's why there's low confidence. I would keep your eye out. You don't need to take shelter here, but in Oliver and George and Edna areas, be weather aware. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning currently in effect with a yaw watch in effect. I don't know if I should keep on yaw watches, but I will, just for that good. For you guys understanding, they're not official tornado warnings. They just help you kind of get an idea of what the storms could do and give you kind of a look ahead of time before the tornado warning actually gets issued. But they don't always mean a tornado. They just kind of get you an idea that something could form. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect here in Norwood, Young America, Waconia here near Lake Waconia, and really close to Lake Minnetonka areas. So that's going to bring some 60 miles an hour winds with that. And some storms bringing 50 to 55 miles an hour winds currently heading towards the Twin Cities in Minnesota. Yeah, 80 to 90 miles an hour winds as this rear inflow jet is currently moving through these areas. Pretty significant here. Very dangerous storms. Oh, you're on high alert because he never pays attention. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing, turning your phone on. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That's great that you're watching from. Oh, thanks to everyone who's currently watching my stream. It means a lot. All right, this EDS extremely dangerous situation is currently ongoing still. Really stay safe, guys, in Sioux Center, Orange City, Sibley, and Sheldon. This is our only severe thunderstorm warning associated with this event, but it's an extreme one as it's producing absolutely insane winds associated with this. And I'm actually watching these storms near Alvord for tornado potential. I do think they should issue a tornado warning here in Alvord, so I would take shelter if I were you in Lakewood, Bonner, Edna, and George and Rock Rapids areas. As we do have some kinks and areas of rotation here. Not anything insane, but this is associated with a big line of storms that could have kinks and produce tornadoes. So I would definitely watch that in this region, especially right there near Lakewood corner areas. And then some extremely, extremely dangerous winds here, 80 to 90 miles an hour in some spots currently rolling through Rock Valley, Sioux Center, and Orange City. You're worried for when it hits Des Moines. Yeah, I think it could be pretty bad once it hits Des Moines. I think it's not going to be as significant as it is right now, but it could definitely be pretty bad, and I would keep an eye out on that. I don't know for sure what it's going to do because it's weather, but it could be pretty bad. These storms could miss Des Moines or they could hit Des Moines, but the models are thinking that they could reach Des Moines, just not extremely strong. They're much north of Des Moines right now, but they're thinking that it could expand into a line here further on. We'll see what happens as the models have been wrong all day, but it's definitely possible. I'd say more like a 60% chance. But yeah, definitely should be concerned. And it's really late at night too, so it should have warnings and alerts because it's going to be really late by the time any storms reach Des Moines. I'm still watching this. We've got some rotation with this storm. I feel like a tornado warning should be issued here near Lakewood Corner and George and Edna. All right, we got a new special weather statement here rolling towards Minneapolis areas. 55 miles an hour winds is expected here in the Twin Cities and Minnetonka as a line of strong winds are currently moving through with 50 to 55 miles an hour winds here. I do think this should be more severe warned, but I see why it's not. Minneapolis, Minnetonka, we've got a strong line of storms rolling through. That is going to bring some strong winds with that. Been 45 minutes, no full call, man. Sorry about that. Okay, here's our tornado warning. See, I just literally just called that in advance to be tornado warned. So we don't have a tornado warning in effect. If you are in George and Sheldon areas, in Ashton and Sanborn, I would take shelter now as a tornado warning is currently in effect. We've got a big kink in this area of rotation right here, where our rotation currently is. A big kink, basically a hook echo area here, and some strong rotation currently rolling through associated with this line. These will be spin-up tornadoes that will roll through these regions. So I would definitely be prepared. There's multiple areas of rotation, so these could cause isolated spin-up tornadoes. I do think they should have made the warning a little bit bigger, like more like this, because there's multiple areas that could be tornadic, but definitely take shelter here in Matlock, Sheldon, Ashton, Sanborn, George, and Edna areas as the tornado warning has officially been issued. Get to shelter now. There might be a tornado on the ground here near Lakewood Corner. I'm not 100% sure, but it's possible. So definitely take shelter in Lakewood Corner, George, Matlock, Sheldon, Ritter, Ashton, Evander, and Sanborn areas right now. Take shelter immediately. All right. Really take shelter here. Still in George, Sheldon, Ashton, Melvin, and Matlock areas in Edna and George, as we do have a tornado warning currently in effect. This is a dangerous situation. Take shelter immediately here, as we have many areas of rotation and another little kink here. I would think a tornado could be possible here with a yaw watch in effect. For yacht Hospers, there's no tornado warning, but I would be prepared here. So Hospers and Primgar, basically in the same area that's in the tornado warning here in Sheldon, Evander, Archer, and Sanborn. So definitely be taking shelter in these areas, as this is a honestly, anywhere in this extremely dangerous situation, severe thunderstorm warning should be really prepared and maybe even taking shelter here. 80 miles an hour winds are rolling through Rock Valley, Sioux Center, Orange City, and Lamar's. you know, really, really strong winds with this 80 to 90 miles an hour. Plus isolated tornadoes possible with this wild MCS currently rolling through. So I would definitely be prepared here and just honestly take shelter in your basement anywhere you are, because not just are you going to see tornado-like winds, you could see a tornado too. Or not just are you going to could you see a tornado, but you could also see tornado-like wind speeds that aren't even associated with a tornado. Wow, thank you guys for 20 people watching the stream. That means a lot here, guys. Still a special weather statement for 50 to 55 miles an hour winds rolling through the Twin Cities, Minnetonka, Bloomington, Eagan, Cottage Grove, and Woodbury areas. We are in that area in portions of Minnesota here. We currently do have some strong winds rolling through the area. I do think some spots are seeing up to 60 miles an hour winds, but more 50 to 55 miles an hour winds are going to be the biggest, strongest winds being associated with this, as the storm heads towards the radar site and is currently impacting Lake Minnetonka in Orano, Medina, and Plymouth areas right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. We'll answer them. Alrighty, guys. This is just a crazy line of storms. I also wanted to mention we actually associated with a slight, associated with the slight risk of severe storms. We do have some isolated severe thunderstorm warnings currently rolling through the regions of the middle of nowhere currently in central Montana. We've got some severe storms with 60 miles an hour winds and 1-inch hail. Nothing too significant with this, besides probably just 60 miles an hour winds, but it's not really hitting much people, so it's not much of a big deal, but I would definitely be prepared there, especially near I-94 as it rolls through Rosebud. Hello, Cannon. Thanks for tuning in the stream. I have no clue who you are. Thanks for tuning in. But what's the word for Athens? All right, let's look up Athens here. All right, Athens, Georgia. I'm joking. So for Athens, we've got basically no storms currently ongoing. Just this is radar clutter, so no storms are actually ongoing in Athens areas. We got basically no weather whatsoever in Athens. So besides that, it's just gonna be really hot outside. Actually, for Athens, I will show a demonstration real quick. So let's look at this. So Athens would be like right here. Let's look at the weather. So there could actually be some isolated rain in the morning on Wednesday and storms later in the day, like in the afternoon on Wednesday in Athens. Not too significant, but just some like rain and maybe a few thunderstorms in the afternoon on Wednesday in the morning. So some rain in the on Wednesday. So be ready for that. Very dangerous there, Cannon. Just some isolated thunderstorms, maybe some like rain possible. But one thing it's gonna be is tomorrow on Tuesday. It's probably gonna be a heat index. Let's see. Tomorrow it's going to be a heat index of 106 degrees in Athens there, so really hot weather in Athens. 110 where I live. And then on Wednesday it's going to just feel like 88, so not even nearly as bad on Wednesday. Then only 74 on Thursday, so really a big cool down between the temperatures there. So tomorrow's going to be super hot, 106 degrees, and then it's going to cool down by Thursday. So that's the weather for Athens. All right. Said, no, you're gonna die. Yeah, imagine. Yeah, no. It's just gonna just some thunderstorms with rain is the word for Athens. Wow, guys, 16 viewers. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, subscribe to Cannon on YouTube. He needs to post car videos, but he isn't. He's got to post car videos on YouTube. Subscribe to Cannon. All right, guys, we have a really dangerous storms rolling through Sioux City, Sioux Center, Orange City, Sutherland, Marcus, Cherokee, Lamar's, Ocheyedan, George areas, currently in portions of northwestern Iowa. These are producing 80 to 90 miles an hour winds, like absurd amount of wind here. So honestly, this is really dangerous. I would just get indoors, maybe even get in the basement because of how dangerous these storms are, and they could bring tornadoes too. There. And now we have a new mesoscale discussion here concerning that severe thunderstorm watch, which includes Des Moines, Waterloo, Mason City, Fort Dodge areas here. This is a mesoscale discussion associated with this mesoscale convective system in northwestern Iowa, producing some really strong winds here. We've got isolated tornado intensity with this, and peak probability wind gusts are 85 to 100 miles an hour as a new weather watch will be possible. If gusts over 85 miles an hour are going to be possible here in portions of Iowa. So that is pretty crazy. And yeah, big storms later tonight, but I will not be live that late at night. All right. If anybody has any questions, I will answer. Your name's not Cannon. All right. 1 second, guys. Okay. 1 second, real quick, guys. Wow, we're up to 213 subs. Thanks for subscribing, everybody. And 112 views already on our stream. Wow. All right. So the models are showing that this big MCS currently over portions of northwestern Iowa that there's only one severe thunderstorm warning associated with. Will eventually expand in the future and get a little bit bigger. I feel like they'd make the mesoscale discussion a little bit further south and a little smaller, but yeah, I see what they're going with there, and this is just going to be wild here. 85 to 100 miles an hour winds. And a lot of these areas like Fort Dodge, Des Moines, Marshalltown, Waterloo, and Mason City could get these storms really, really late tonight here, midnight, maybe even the overnight hours, 11, midnight, 1 a.m. So some really late times some of these storms could roll through these regions. Take shelter now as a tornado warning is continuing for George, Sheldon, Sanborn, and Ashton and Matlock areas here. As we have a few areas of rotation associated with this line of storms. Now these would just be isolated spin up tornadoes. That's why you do need to be watching this currently. Across these regions. with this here. Now, these will not be huge tornadoes or anything, as it's associated with a line, but the reason they're tornado warning these, and I do think they should tornado warning more storms like this storm here near Hospers and Primgar, is because these storms can get these little kinks and these little hooks associated with the storm, and that means inflow is moving into the storm and kind of can create conditions that are favorable for tornadoes within them, but they'll form so fast and dissipate so fast that you won't even know, and they could damage places. That's why I feel like the National Weather Service should issue tornado warnings more in advance. Yeah, I do agree. There's not too much tornadic situations with this storm, with this one, but definitely possible with any sort of significant mesoscale convective system or line of storms. All right, guys. Big storms currently rolling through Primgar, Hartley, Sanborn, Melvin, here currently Sheldon, Ashton, Matlock, Sibley, Little Rock, and Ocheyedan areas, and Cherokee, and Marcus and Remsen. So if you're on those areas, be well aware, as we currently do have just 90 miles an hour winds now. So they just upgraded this extremely dangerous situation to 90 miles an hour winds. Oh, you measured 100% miles an hour winds on velocity. Yeah, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if some areas have seen 100 miles an hour winds. And I do see why they just upgraded this to a 90 miles an hour wind mesoscale convective system here. Even though the mesoscale convective system is small, it's producing absurd amount of wind with this 90 miles an hour wind gusts currently. As the public at 9:40 p.m., which would be about 11 minutes ago, reported a 92 miles an hour gust near Orange City, which would be right here. 92 miles per hour gusts. Absurd. In that area, and that's not even where they're showing the strongest winds either. They should upgrade this to 100 miles an hour, in my opinion, possibly. We're seeing 90, 95, almost 100 miles an hour winds. So, tornado-like wind speeds, insane wind speeds that could knock down trees in seconds. I would take shelter in a basement if I were you with this because of how significant these winds currently are here. So, 90 miles an hour, extremely dangerous situation rolling through Orange City, Cherokee, Sutherland, Hartley, Ocheyedan, Little Rock, Rock Rapids, Sioux Center, Marcus areas currently, and a tornado warning that is impacting Sheldon and George currently, as we do have some kinks that it could cause a isolated tornado or two. So if you're in George and Sheldon areas, we do have a tornado warning currently in effect. Make sure to be in your safe spot there. Oh, I also wanted to mention we now have a zero thunderstorm warning here across Northfield, Montgomery, Lonsdale, and New Prague. On the southern side of this line is currently strengthening here. That is producing some 60 miles an hour winds with this storm. So definitely be weather aware for that in Minnesota. And then a now issued severe thunderstorm warning here in in the Twin Cities, Bloomington, Minnetonka, Chanhassen, Chicopee, Elko, New Market, Hastings, Cottage Grove, and Woodbury. In Bloomington and Eagan areas, and now in portions of Minnesota, as a severe thunderstorm warning is currently now been issued for 60 miles an hour winds. So really dangerous. Well, not extremely dangerous, but 60 miles an hour winds have now been severe thunderstorm warning has now been issued, as the velocities are definitely showing these strong winds rolling through, especially here near Shakopee and Prior Lake areas. There. Wow, a 99 miles an hour gust has now been reported near Sioux Center areas. So we've now got 100 miles an hour winds here rolling through Sheldon, Sanborn, Hartley, Primgar, Sutherland, Marcus, Ochaden, and Sibley areas. Very dangerous here, guys. This is extremely dangerous. 99 miles an hour winds. As this MCS is strengthening. Wow. They've now expanded this warning here. What? It just downgraded it to 80 miles an hour. There was just a report of 99 miles an hour winds. And look at the velocities. There's like barely any areas with 80 mile with. Wow. Okay. Well, I'll just call this. It's called at 80 miles an hour. They at least they've got the tag saying this is an extremely dangerous situation on this, which it is. Heading towards Storm Lake, Cherokee, Spencer now. So if you're in those areas in Spirit Lake, they're issuing this ahead of time, and I see why. These storms are currently rolling through, and we'll get here in no time as it's moving really fast too. Like really, really fast with these storms moving east at 60 miles an hour. As these storms are producing 90 miles an hour, 80 to maybe even 100 miles an hour winds in some spots with this bonkers line of storms, MCS. Heading towards Spencer, Storm Lake, Cherokee, Spirit Lake, Sutherland areas in northwestern Iowa. Wow, this is just crazy storms rolling through these areas here, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. All right. Really dangerous MCS currently rolling through. They're probably going to issue this watch any minute because these storms are already rolling out of the watch. So they're going to definitely, any minute or so, they'll probably expand this severe thunderstorm watch here. So really dangerous situation here heading towards Spencer, Orange City, Cherokee, Storm Lake now, and Spirit Lake areas. So really be weather aware for this as damaging winds are rolling through the region currently. Wow, 114 subscribers. Thanks to everyone who's tuned into my streams. Now it's looking like the tornado situation is starting to diminish slightly as we're not seeing much kinks in this storm, but I'm definitely watching it. But the wind situation is absolutely insane with this, especially over Sheldon, Primgar, Hartley, and Spencer. The Spencer, Sioux Rapids, Lakeside, and Storm Lake areas really be aware here, as we've got some dangerous, extremely dangerous storms rolling through. Alright guys, we are now going to turn this stream to AFK. I really want to keep being live, and these storms are just going to keep getting more intense from here, and they're fun to track and very dangerous, but it's getting late and it's already 10 p.m, so I'm probably will just stay live for a few more minutes or so. I've already been live for about an hour, so, and I'm starting to get a headache. It is pretty late. I mean, it's not extremely late, it's just pretty late for streaming in that matter. So yeah, I'll leave this stream maybe on AFK for like 20 minutes or so and then probably end it, but there's many other people live streaming, Ryan Hall, Max Velocity, you can check out. I'm really happy and thankful. Thanks to everyone who's tuned into my stream today. Had a lot of viewers today and it really means a lot to me, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying my streams. I will be live again. Let's look at the weather currently. I may even be live tomorrow. We'll see. Or maybe not tomorrow because I'm making a video tomorrow. I think I'm going to be making a video tomorrow, but we'll see. At least I know I'll be live at some point in the next week or so. But thanks to everyone who's been tuning in my stream. It seriously means a ton to me, and I'm really glad to have all my viewers. Just to mention for the future of these storms, we've got a moderate risk of severe weather in effect currently, and really dangerous storms that could be impacting Des Moines, Ames, Waterloo, Fort Dodge, Mason City, Albert, Leah, and Austin areas, and portions of extreme southern Minnesota, sorry, and portions of Iowa regions here in these regions, and this is a matter skill discussion as the watch is about to be issued with peak wind gusts of 85 to 100 miles per hour winds with this, as this extremely dangerous MCS is going to move through and just cause destructive winds. And these winds will occur really late at night when some people are trying to sleep. So definitely be weather aware for that and be prepared to even take shelter, because these winds will be so dangerous that they could be tornado force, maybe even up to hurricane force winds in some areas with this. So really crazy there. Yeah, stay safe guys. Always have a way to get warnings tonight, especially in Des Moines, Ames, Waterloo, Mason City, and Fort Dodge areas, and portions of Iowa there. Hope you guys enjoy this stream. We're going to turn this to AFK for a little bit, for like 10 minutes. Thanks everybody.